can hear Sally's footsteps.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Post-prom week.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's hilarious. Good
That's right.
morning, Trace.
Good morning, y'all. How are you?
We're doing great.
Living the dream.
I know. How about you?
Living the dream as well.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to talk about the really cool setting behind you. But before
Yes.
before we get started, I know you're a veteran on Coffee with MC. We'll reintroduce you for anyone who might be new. However, I'm not sure if we've asked you this. We've asked you a theme song idea, but I don't know if we've ever asked you our your coffee order. What do you normally order
Yeah,
for coffee?
it's just, it's just coffee flavored coffee, black coffee,
Okay.
preferably a dark roast.
Yeah.
If I'm somewhere else that doesn't have drip coffee, it's usually an Americano.
Okay. Okay. I
I
feel
love
good about
that.
that.
I do too.
For some reason, I really thought you might go like pour over or like something it's like highbrow, you know?
Or he might shock us all and be like, I love a caramel macchiato.
Yeah, like the strawberry latte is my
Yeah.
go-to.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I also like, I love an Americano and I also like a dark roast coffee. So there you go.
We're on the
What
same
is that?
page.
Is there some sort of a correlation between the,
Americano's just, I think it's just espresso with hot water to dilute it a little bit. So it's the closest you can get to just a black coffee in a place that doesn't have that's using an espresso machine as opposed to like a drip
drip
coffee
coffee?
or whatever we do here.
Okay.
And did you know, fun fact, I used to be a barista back in the day.
Okay.
And
Why have you never told me this?
I
I feel like you've
Wow.
really been holding out on me. I
I
mean,
think
what?
a high school
You've been doing a
barista
coffee
doesn't
show for
count.
3 years now, 5 years
I
now, you
mean, what?
haven't.
I'm sorry, you guys. It's going to take me a while to get over this. Anyway, carry on. Carry
It
on.
was high school, it doesn't count. So, did you know that dark roast actually has the least amount of caffeine and light roast has the most? It's a fun
Did
fact.
not know that.
I did not. So something about the roasting process.
Perhaps.
Okay.
The reasoning has left my brain. That was 15 years ago at this point.
Okay. Well, I do have to tell y'all one thing, which is that, Trace, you haven't seen my coffee cup that I'm obsessed with that we found that Walter made. I
Oh,
don't
uh, uh,
Can you see it? It says, "Is that coffee I smell?"
the little
And there's
fish.
a little fish. Walter made it when he was little. And so I just have broken it out. But let me tell you what I've started drinking. After I've had enough coffee, I have a cup of bone broth.
Ooh,
I mean,
that's the way to go.
yeah, it's like I'm getting some protein in.
Oh,
So
nice.
anyway, okay. That's what I got.
Well,
Yeah,
guess
just,
what?
cold weather, get something warm. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, that was our episode for today. We're just kidding. I was just kidding. Mary Cheetah, would you like to introduce our special
Yes,
guest?
I would be delighted. So, guys, this morning we are so happy to have Trace Cooper with us. So, if you guys don't know Trace, Trace is a Puerto Rican born and raised. Trace recently had a very fabulous and lengthy stint because he was so loved as the mayor of Atlantic Beach. Um, he has now retired from that role. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about some exciting things that Trace has coming up with his family. But Trace is, what I would say is that Trace is very smart, very creative, and really fun to work with. And what I've found about Trace is that anything that he touches, he takes very seriously and is really, I don't know, just approaches it from a different angle, which I really appreciate.
I agree.
Okay, so Trace, tell us all about where you are sitting right now.
So I am in the brand new Pine Knoll Shores location of Tidal Coworking. These are sort of office space brand that we've got one in downtown Moorhead, and we just opened one kind of right in the middle of the island in Pine Knoll Shores, right next to where the Pine Knoll Shores Police Department and Fire Department is.
Cool.
And what we do at Titles is we essentially rent places for you to work and do great things. You can we've got private offices. You can kind of see a row of those
So cool.
behind me. But we also have if you don't need an office, you can rent a desk that's your dedicated desk, so you can put your monitor there, leave all your stuff on the desk, and just have a place to go and come every day. And then we also have what we call a floating desk, or it's kind of a true co-working thing where you come in, you don't have a place with your name on it, but you find an open desk and work from there. And then to support those areas, we have like a phone booth in the Moorhead location, and here in Pine Knoll Shores, we have 4 Zoom rooms that are sort of they're meant for one person and a computer, but they're big enough that if you've got to be on a call for a couple hours, you're comfortable in there. So for people who really just need to do video calls, whether they're on vacation or working full time, we've got, those rooms are there for them.
So I was about to ask, so I know you do longer term rentals for
Yeah.
people who want to reserve an office space for a longer period of time, but you just mentioned if people are on vacation, they can kind of do a shorter term. Will you talk about how that works?
Yeah. So in Moorhead, most of our members are year round. And for almost all of our enclosed offices, we require kind of a year round membership. Well, in Pine Knoll Shores, we're going to reserve some for just weekly passes, which is our shortest term. Um, and you guys, you probably see this on your kind of buyer side representations, but we're not the only person in town doing these things. And the Vault Co-working in Beaufort is right on Front Street, is amazing space, and Saltworks in Morehead City on Bridges Street, also just a beautiful space. There are a lot of people who live here who work remotely,
Mhm.
and I don't think we see that as much in our day to day because they're sitting at home or in one of our workspaces. But I think it's a significant part of our economy for people who, I mean, if you can work anywhere, why not work coastal coast where we've got more water than anywhere and great school systems. So I think a lot of people have moved down here, and you've probably seen this saying, "Hey, I work for Cisco or IBM, but we're
Sure.
going to live down here."
Yeah. And I think working around people is something that people crave. I think a lot of people, they're like, I want a remote position. And then they get in a remote position. This would be me. And they're like, I need socialization. So I think this is a great middle ground to working remote and still having that social aspect in a beautiful place. I mean, both the Moorhead location and clearly the Pine Knoll Shores location are just immaculate design wise. I mean, I'm not surprised one bit, but I love that about both of these locations.
Just if you're, you know, great business ideas don't come out the guest bedroom, right? You need to be in a place that feels good. Um,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
and surround, like you're right about, we have a lot of people who have home offices who still come in 2 or 3 days a week just because they want to go to the water cooler and talk about
Sure.
Duke's blowing the Final Four game the other night, or
I can't talk about I can't.
I want to talk about that.
Mm-mm. Just kidding.
So yeah, and the other thing that I think about that, a book that we love is called The One Thing by Gary
yeah,
Keller, but
there, yeah,
it's all about productivity. But one of the things that he talks about is building a bunker. And so I think that's really what you're offering is the ability to build a bunker where you've got a place where you go in and it triggers your brain, you're triggered emotionally to know that you come in there, it's time to get to work, right? You get your stuff done, it's separate from where you live and you play. And then you've
right,
also got, I can see right there behind you, Trace, you've got a kitchen area so that people
yeah.
can bring, so you're not distracted with all the things that you do to kind of take care of your needs. You can come prepared and do all of that there. And then when you're done, you can leave and go home and back to your life and your play.
I love it.
Yeah, if your computer's blinking in your home office, you're always kind of walking by checking an email where, after hours, you need to be able to just shut it down sometimes.
Yes. And
Agree.
isn't that a lesson? Every single person watching this, I know, feels that post COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if we didn't learn anything, I mean, it's yeah, I think we all learned that having that division is a really big deal as far as your well-being.
agree. Agree. So, Trace, if people are interested in reserving either a longer term spot or a weekly pass to either the Moorhead or the new Pine Knoll Shores location, can they just go to your website at tidalco.work and fill
yeah,
out a little form?
yeah. It's the membership is relatively self-serve. You sign up online. If you're paying, you'll put a credit card in that's processed through Bright, a super secure internet payment processor. And we have a smartphone app that serves as your key. So depending on your membership, you can come and go as you need using the app to get you in and out of the spaces. Where in Moorhead, all of our enclosed offices are rented. We've got a wait list for that. But in Pine Knoll Shores, we added a lot more enclosed offices because we realized that's sort of in this market, that's where the demand is. So we've got several offices available here in Pine Knoll Shores. And so just, go to the website. You can see an email there to contact us, or you can sign up and we'll schedule time to give you a tour.
I love that. Also, think about like driving over the bridge. If you live in the Moorhead or Beaufort area or whatever, and you do reserve a spot in the Pine Knoll Shores,
That's a great idea.
it's just like a little decompression.
I know.
Pretty drive
That's
to
right.
to the office. I love that. That's great. We'll put the link to your website in our comments so people can easily click over if they're interested.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before we let you go, I know that one of the things that we've been getting a lot of questions about lately, and so probably you have too, is we established, Trace, that you are are born and bred Carteret County and that your family has a long history there. And I know part of that is that your granddad started the Oceanana.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about, the plans there and kind of what's happening?
So, as you said, my granddad started Ocean in the late 50s, and 65, 66 years on the ocean front is a long time for anything. And, I started working there when I was 12. There's a lot of family history there, not just with our family, but all of our guests over the years. But the buildings are coming to the end of their useful life. So several years ago, we started planning a complete redevelopment of the site. We're taking our time on. It's a really important piece of real estate for our family, and it's a beautiful. As a developer, you don't come across many 8-acre oceanfront sites. So we're going to get it right. It's going to have kind of the soul of the old Oceanana, which was always family focused, a place where people came to make memories. But it's going to be very much updated for today's North Carolina. We're going to rebuild the restaurant, keep the pier. There won't be a hotel or motel as part of it. We tried to make that work. It's just still too seasonal here. So everything else will be residences, townhomes and condominiums. And you guys have seen some of the renderings and things. I'm really proud of the work that our design team has done. We hired, world-class architects and landscape architects. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to develop this. And, I've developed projects where it's a business proposition, right? I'd look at this is, if you build it for less than you sell it for, you made the money you wanted to, then that's fine. This is much more than that. I mean, I'm going to live there. My family's going to live there. It's really kind of a big part of our family history. So my cousins and we've got a meeting next week for me to update them and say, hey guys, this is where we're headed. Is everybody like this? So I think it's going to be really special. We've got one or two more permits to get. Hopefully we'll get those in the next few months, and by later this year, we should be in a position to kind of start development when the market is right. We're looking at interest rates, look at the market here, and certainly we'll be doing that soon. Looking forward to working with you guys on that.
Well, we're so excited. And if
Yeah.
you're watching this and you're interested in learning more about the redevelopment at Oceanana, it's going to be incredible. We have an interest list going where we send out updates periodically that have some incredible renderings, some information about what it's going to be like. So be sure that you join the interest list.
And we will put the link to that as well in the comments. It's just oceanana.com. You can hop on the interest list and then you'll be looped into all the updates coming up.
I love that. I love that. And as we're hopping off, the last shout out that I want to give is to the Pier House.
Oh,
so the restaurant
nice.
at the Pier House, if you have not been, it's funny, I've said this to several people recently and they've said, no, I don't even, anyway, if you've not been to the restaurant at the Pier House, you need to go. It is, the thing that I love is that there is elevated, delicious, creative, wonderful food that who am I can be a little bit difficult. I can be a little bit persnickety. I just love to eat. I love to eat and I want something to be really good.
Yes.
And so they can make me just over the moon happy. And then they have something that my kids, like a delicious, anything you can think of that your kids might love, they nail it. And it's in this kind of casual, beautiful setting. And you can go out on the pier and they've got wonderful drinks. I don't know, just big fan.
Me too. Shout out
Yeah,
to
our chef Kevin Davis and GM have done a great job of kind of maintaining the core of sort of family friendly stuff, but doing his thing. He used to be the owner of La Perla that was in Moorhead and then in Beaufort. So if you were a La Perla fan, that's where Kevin is now. And he's testing some things for the new menu now. And there's an octopus dish that is amazing. So if you come in, get the octopus.
Okay. Well, that hot
I
tip, you
love
heard
it.
it here, guys. You heard
Yeah.
it here.
Exactly.
Lots of things to think about on this Friday.
A lot.
I know. So,
Yes.
Trace, as we're letting you go, would you please tell us what is saving your life right now?
I'd say travel. It just, I think I get excited for any trip I ever take, whether it's to, Durham or Dubai. I've never been to Dubai, but I was just trying to
I like
find
the
something
Alliteration. It was good.
alliterative there.
Yeah.
It's just I think I've learned a lot more traveling than I ever have in a classroom, and I've spent way too much time in a classroom. So in the development business or when I was working for the town, always getting good ideas of things to do. People think I'm weird because I'll turn my back to the ocean and take a picture of like a lounge chair. Because I'm like, oh, that'll be great at, like the ocean's over there, guy. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but this is, so yeah, absolutely love to travel. My wife and I go as much as we can, or it's just is my favorite thing. And it's just a great opportunity to kind of get out of your day to day. And we talked about getting away from our phones, but if you can get away from all your life, just think it gives you a chance to think more strategically, I think.
And Trace, it goes back to your initial concept of great ideas aren't made in the guest
That's
room.
exactly
I
right.
mean, great
That's right.
ideas, you might make some great ideas right here, but also when you get out and you get out of your comfort zone, then so many more come.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
That's a good
awesome.
one.
Trace, thank you so much for being with
Thank
us.
you,
We're
Trace.
really excited about this new co-working space. We're really excited about the new Oceanana. Just lots of exciting things all around over on the island.
Exactly
Well,
right.
great. Thanks for having me on again. It's good to see you.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye, Trace.
Take care.
Trace.
I always love talking to him.
I know.
He's delightful.
Just really interesting. And again, I do think I just love being exposed to ideas that are outside of the norm,
Yeah.
And
also from someone who cares so much about like everything he touches, like you said in the beginning. I feel like he just puts so much thought into, he cares, whether it's a dinner or a new development.
yes.
There's that alliteration again.
Yes. It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what's saving your life?
I do. It's really simple this week.
Okay, hit me.
Smoothies.
Oh, tell
Smoothies.
us what's in your smoothie this morning.
It looks really gross over here. I'm so sorry.
I don't think it looks gross.
This morning I have frozen blueberry, frozen banana, frozen avocado, a whole bunch of spinach, and then a little bit of peanut butter and protein powder.
Okay, then what liquid? Water?
Almond milk.
Almond milk.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you use unsweetened or sweetened?
Unsweetened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? What's saving your life?
Okay, so what's saving my life? Oh God, I was sitting on my leg. What is saving my
Wow, you're
life?
so much shorter than me.
I know. I don't know what just happened.
It's fine.
Y'all, I'm really working hard to try and get back into a meditation practice, and not like a major big one. You know what I mean? Just trying to sit still for 20 minutes a day. And I have this guy that I really like who I've done some work with before. And I worked with him some last week. And what he said to me that I thought was fascinating was he said, when you're meditating, he said, you're not trying to make something happen. You're just trying to see what's happening. Right? I was like,
that doesn't compute in my brain because that's so hard.
I was like, I can do that. Like, just sit there and like, just give your brain a little chance to untangle.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I like how
and
that's said.
and see what's happening. Like you're not trying to force yourself into some transcendental state. That does sound amazing, but just to kind of see what's happening. I don't know.
Will you repeat that? Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, what that he said?
Yeah.
He said when you meditate, you're not trying to make something happen. You're just trying to see what's happening.
I love it.
I don't know, it makes it seem really accessible.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
knowledge
that's
bomb.
what I got. Exactly.
Smoothies and meditation.
There you go. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.